This week's episode of Kamen Rider Gavv is called Transforming is Such a Bitter Chocolate. Can we guess what it's going to be about? It picks up from last episode where Hanto's boss was taken by a Granute and we discover that the chances are he is likely unalive. He finds the glass and it is broken in half, and that typically means that there is no coming back for that captured person. And then we're back to light-hearted Shoma, and he's basically sending his Gotchizos out on like patrol to kind of spot Granutes and members of the Stomach family and just say, look, report back to me if you see this and I'll be straight there. But then Sachika walks in and he's trying to cover up all the Gotchizos, and she's like, what are these? These are very cute. They're like little toys. And he's like, yeah, man, totally. These are toys. And then she names them Gotchizos, and it didn't really click to me that they've just not mentioned like their name yet. So she's the one that names them, which is quite fun. Cutting back to the dramatic scenes, we then have Hanto pretty much legging it to Suga's house, basement rather, and he's just like, you need to help me, you need to save him. And he's basically like, look, bro, you can't. Like, once they're snapped, they're snapped. He does introduce the concept of Hanto being able to do better, leading us into the fact that he's made more or less his own changer. Now, of course, Hanto is just heartbroken throughout all of this because his mother got eaten by a Granute, his boss has just been killed by one, and he says that unrelatedly his grandmother's died as well. And he's very, very tempted. And this changer as well is sort of like, it's obviously it's not a stomach Gavv or anything like that. It's just like this solid piece they can put a Gotchizo in. But in order for it to work and like kind of activate within him, he needs like a Granute organ to be like surgically implanted inside him so that it releases like a sort of chemical that'll help him transform, and he don't want none of it. So he leaves heartbrokenly, and that's all we see of that. We're never ever gonna come back to that as a plot point. It is low-key terrifying. Just like, yeah, we can do this for you. We can put this very vibrant and colourful little like dream of yours to life and make you a very colourful. We'll have to surgically implant a new organ in you. But then see Shoma meet up with his great uncle, again, who we were introduced to last episode. And he's brought him some chocolates and some sweets, and it's just like, look, I will keep bringing you human snacks if you promise me you will help me to keep humans safe. And he's like, I suppose that's fine, you know, anything for a couple of M&Ms. Cutting back to Hanto, he's thought for about 0.5 seconds about this entire ordeal, and he goes back and he accepts the surgery, and they just do the surgery open with no anesthetic, no anesthesia, just that's how it is, and he's in pain. Vile. Like, this would not have aired on TV over here, and probably not in America either. Like, this episode, like, is a lot of sort of cut to this, cut to this, cut to this, cut to this. Is like the two stories happening, like, at the exact same time separately. We cut to Shoma chasing down a Granute beast, and the action begins. But first of all, like, what is this meant to be? Like, that is just disgusting. Like, why is he so slimy? Is it meant to be like honey or something? I don't know. But anyway, the initial fight is quite cool. They activate the kicking gummy, which I think out of all of the upgrades and transformations we've had, I think that's my least favorite one. Maybe that tied with the soda one, but regardless, it's fine. It's fine. It was quite cool. But he tries to like slam his foot down and he gets stuck and he slips off. So that Granite beast gets away, which is like mad. Or so we think, until he goes around the corner thinking he's fine. And there is Suga and Hanto, and he is there with this big mechanical changer. Now, first of all, it doubles as a gun, which is cool. Like I've always said, if you watch my Bunja videos or anything like that, I like it when things do other things that they don't initially seem like they can do. It's a cool concept. Hanto, he's in pain. Like he's just come from a non-official surgery in some guy's basement. Fine, he's walking towards the Granite. He falls to the floor, but he has a chocolate Gotchizo, puts it in the changer, and he becomes, for the first time, Kamen Rider Valon. Now, first of all, this is very cool. He's used the chocolate Gotchizo, and there's a mix of like milk chocolate with some like, I think, white chocolate accents around it. It looks really cool. I like the duality there. Sugo's just sat back like filming on a little GoPro, but Hanto ends up putting his all into this fight, and he does like this final blast, which is obviously with his changer again, but this time, instead of shooting out the regular bit, it opens up to where the Gotchizo is, and it does like this big supercharged blast, which I thought was sick, and he defeats the Granute with like a giant Malteser as well, which, you know, just extra points for that. Just as the fight is ending, Shoma does appear, and he's like, wow, there's there's another masked rider, there's another Kamen Rider, what's going on? And he is just about to confront him, and then the episode ends. Well, we see one of the Stomach family like watching over them, and he says something quite menacing. I can't remember what it is, but it'll be on screen. Make you think like, ooh, he's like, they're all aware. Because Sheeta and Jeeb were talking with him earlier in the episode, and he showed them a video of Kamen Rider, and they were like, oh my god, you've seen him too? And he's like, yeah, and we got to do something about it. So I feel like that's where we might be going, maybe heading towards in the next few episodes. Let's be real, this episode was about Hanto through and through, and I'll be honest, it was great. I had a really good time with it. Like, the fact that his passion to like avenge his family was so strong that he went through just a completely unofficial, painstaking transplant, or not even transplant, but putting a foreign organ in his body. It made for a good episode, I'll tell you that. As I said, I really like the Chocolate Rider suit. I wonder, I think we saw in the preview for next episode that potentially Shoma's going to use it, and it looks a little bit different to how it looked when it was Kamen Rider Valon. So I wonder if we're going to see Hanto use any other forms. Like if he uses the popping gummies, will he look like Shoma's main form, or will it be a bit different? I'd really like to see that. I've said before, I've kind of tried to avoid promo images, so maybe we already know that, maybe that's common knowledge, let me know. But yeah, cool stuff. Thank you guys so much for watching. What were your thoughts on this week's episode of Kamen Rider Gavv? You know, considering we're like, what, 6 episodes in, and I'm new to Kamen Rider, as I've said, I think I'm understanding what the show is like meant to be. I've been very much enjoying it, and I also think the fact that we're 6 episodes in and we've already got the season's 2nd Kamen Rider, surely this is gonna have like 50 episodes, right? So who knows what is to come. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. If this is your first time joining me, then I post videos like this every week. Whether it's Kamen Rider, Super Sentai, Power Rangers, or like anything in the vast nerd world, then there's probably a video on it. Fancy subscribing? We are on our way to 5k subs, which I'm very, very grateful for, but it is up to you. Thanks again, and see you soon.